Hey guys. Okay, so in my last video, I guess I mentioned that I'm dating someone and that our relationship is kind of like a long distance relationship. He actually goes to school 4 hours away from where I go to school. So we're in a long distance relationship. I mean, it's not too extensive. We're continents away from each other or anything like that. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that long of a drive. We're still in the same time zone and all of that. But it's a long distance relationship. We don't get to see each other every day or every week or anything like that. So a lot of you messaged me and asked me, after I posted that video, a lot of you messaged me and asked me um, all about relationships and giving guy advice and how to start a relationship, how to talk to boys, how to make a long distance relationship work, and things like that. So I decided to do the first one at least on how to make a long distance relationship work just because that one's the most prevalent to me right now, and I think it's one that doesn't get talked about a lot. Gurus typically don't talk about their relationships online or a lot of their personal advice. Um, and I mean, there are a couple that do, but there are a lot that don't, or just are single or anything like that, and they are in more into the beauty rather than just like kind of like all the life stuff like that. But I know Megan Hart's makeup. She does relationship advice, and I know her boyfriend and her have a channel and all that stuff. And I think there are a couple other ones that kind of do that, but I decided that I want to do it too, just because there aren't a lot, and a lot of people don't talk about long distance relationships. So, whatever this is pertaining to, like whether you are a college student like me and you go to school different time or different areas, or like you're older or you're younger or whatever, and that there's some kind of distance between you two, whether if it's just for the summer or if it's for the full year or whatever is going on. So first of all, the first thing to really look at is your relationship together. You have to be committed because it's not easy. If you really don't like this person, or you just kind of like them, or whatever. I mean, I don't think you should be in a relationship if you don't like this person. But I think sometimes that we like the idea of being in a relationship so much that we're just kind of with that person. And you have to really know that it's going to be hard, it's going to be difficult, and it really is going to come down to how much you're willing to put into the relationship and how much commitment you're going to kind of like give to it, and how like high on the scale is it. If it's just for like, if they're just gone for the summer and you're going to see them after they come back, it's not as hard just because it's only a couple months. Like, it's still hard and it's still frustrating after you spend so much time with them and you're in a relationship and you want to see them, but it's not as hard as if like you don't see them for the full year and you only get to see them on breaks or something like that, or they're studying abroad or something like that. My boyfriend goes, like I said, goes to school 4 hours away from me. I'm transferring to a university. I was at a community college because of just like saving money and stuff like that, and I applied to his university and my university, but I got into both, but I decided to go to the one that I actually ended up choosing, because it was just a better choice for me. It was closer to home, which I know sounds really weird, but I get homesick really super easily. It's only like an hour outside of where I live now, um, and it had a better major, like the department. It had like a better school for my major. It was cheaper, but it was still a really awesome school, and the whole school just fit my personality better. So I decided to make a decision and not go to his school and go to my school. So that automatically puts us apart for a full school year at least, until we get to come back during breaks like winter break or summer break, or we can come see each other like every other weekend or every couple weekends or every month or so. One of us driving up there and driving back. I have like a hair in my mouth. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so like I said, first off, you got to look at the relationship and see how much you're really willing to put into it, and see how, like, what level it is for you. Like, if you're super serious about this relationship and you really want, like, you have an end game, like, you see a goal in it, you can see you two getting married. And I'm saying this for those of you who are a little bit older, closer to my age, and I know I'm still young, but I mean closer into, like, your 20s and stuff like that. just because if you're 14 or 15, it's probably not a very smart decision to base your like have a really really long distance relationship until like you graduate from high school or college. It's going to be so hard and so strenuous on you. So I'm saying this more for those of you who are older and who really see an end game. You see this as like the person you want to get married to, and you know that this is the person you want to get married to. My boyfriend and I have known each other for since 6th grade, and so 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 8 years, 9 years, 9 years. And we've always been really, really good friends. And so the next step, I think, is just really like, this is such a good time for you to grow intimately rather than like any type of physical romance, but getting to know them through and through. I mean, you're not going to be able to like hold their hand or, you know, have them in that physical just sense, like they won't be around just to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is time where you get to know them completely for who they are and get to appreciate them for that. And so, I mean, I know my boyfriend really, really well because I've known him for so long, but there's still stuff that we both really learned about each other through this time because we couldn't, like, just sit with each other and have that presence where it doesn't really matter if you're talking about everything, that you can just be with each other. But to kind of be with each other now in an intimate way, we have to be able to talk. And so that's really important, is once, like, after establishing the fact that you want to be with this person, and are willing to put in the commitment, because it's hard, it's not easy. It's easier in some ways than it is in others, just because there isn't any like pressure. There isn't that physical contact in a way where you don't have to worry about anything like going too far if you're not ready for that or don't believe in that or anything like that. And it's easier just because you don't have to worry about like having to switch plans around or all that stuff. Like, you know where they are, you know what they're doing, and you know, like, you have your plans, and you get to be kind of independent in that way, and you're not dependent on someone, which I think is very important, to not be dependent on someone. And so you get to grow still as a person, but also still have someone there who's willing to support you in all your endeavors. So after you've accepted the fact that you two kind of want this commitment, you're going to do this thing, you need to go into just continually catering to the relationship. You can't just accept it and just not talk or not do anything, because then the relationship will crumble. You still have to nurture it. You still have to provide things for the relationship. A huge helpful tool is like Skype dates. I think Ovu is like a video chat. You can Facebook chat. You can text, phone calls, just constantly keeping yourselves in each other's lives, because you cannot do it completely. You're not going to experience things together in that physical sense because they're not with you. So that being said, being able to text them and be like, this is what's going on with my day, or sitting down with them and having like a Skype date and describing what all happened to you that day, or having a new experience with them online by talking to them about something you've never talked about with someone before, something like that. Like, being able to share still part of your life and what you're doing with that person will continually, you guys are going parallel, but you're not necessarily holding hands at this point. You're still going together, but you're still not in that same physical proximity that a normal relationship probably would have. So what I like to do to keep things interesting, because it sometimes can get a little bit boring, and I mean that without sounding like mean or anything, but it can get a little bit boring after a while, of you guys just like hanging out on Skype or something like that, is having like Skype dates in kind of a cute way, like going to get coffee together and both of you go pick up a cup of coffee and just sit down and have the computer, and, you know, like drink some coffee, have a coffee date, or go out to dinner, and both have like dinner online and stuff like that. I know it sounds kind of cheesy, but it kind of adds like a little bit of something to the date, and it's good. It's good. Also, being able to do that like on the phone, like watching a movie together on the phone, you know, like starting at the same time and being able to talk on the phone and like almost like you're watching it with them. Obviously, you're not exactly, but they're still kind of there and experiencing that with you in a way as well. So just keeping things interesting, keeping you guys in constant communication, is something really important too, just so that, you know, like, you're nurturing the relationship, you're not letting everything just die out, and you're not just like giving up in a way. You're like, oh, I want to commit to this, but actually doing the work, because it's still a lot of work. It's not just like, oh, they're far away, I don't really have to worry about it right now. Like, it's still a lot of work, if not more, because you guys aren't close to each other and you can't just like hang out and, excuse me, I'll be okay. So that's definitely something you really have to look into as well. Another thing is just being able to have like an immense amount of trust in this person. Trust is so important in a long distance relationship and in your relationship, but especially a long distance relationship because you won't be around them. And more than likely, they're probably going to be hanging out with girls or they're going to be hanging out with boys or whatever. And it's harder. Like, it's hard to accept that. It's hard to be able to be like, I'm totally okay with it. And you just have to, like give them some trust, give them a little bit of leeway. You're not going to be able to control every move that they make, and you don't need to try. That's only going to turn them off. That's not going to make, it's not going to show them that you trust them, and it's not going to be good for your heart because you aren't letting yourself trust them. If you feel like they are going to cheat on you or do something like that, then you probably shouldn't be in this relationship. But it does take some trust, and it does taking some, like, okay, like, I know that they're with a really pretty girl right now, but I trust them. I know that they're not going to cheat on me. I know that they care about me. That's something that's really important to have in a relationship, and a lot of relationships lack that, even personal, like, close relationships. So trust is a huge thing, and it's something that is definitely things that needs to be worked on. It's not super easy, and it doesn't come like that, but you just need to continue just to trust them and kind of take a breather, like when they're going out with the girls or going out with the guys, like just breathe. Another thing is to kind of, you obviously can't show your affections through physical contact or anything like that. Like a lot of people, cuddle or they'll kiss or whatever, and you can't do that obviously because you're in a long distance relationship. So being able to voice your affections is very very important. Being able to tell this person that you care about them, that this isn't just friends, you're not just texting all the time. Being able to say how you feel about this person can be scary, but it's also very awesome as well. Obviously you can do it instantly, like I'm talking to you right now. I can be telling you how much I love you, and this is voice chat, so that's you can definitely do it like that. You can text, which I don't recommend texting, but I mean, you're in a long distance relationship, so you can't really help it. But just being able to say like, hey, you're amazing, or hey, you're beautiful, or something, like, or hey, like, I'm so happy that I'm with you, or whatever, like something cheeseball-y in a way, but like something that really is meaningful to you. Something that my boyfriend and I like to do is we send each other packages, and we'll just, like, I'll write a letter to him, and I'll kind of like make it all old looking, like I'll dye it with coffee and then burn the edges and put a lot of effort into it, and that shows that I'm putting effort into the relationship by, taking the time to like write out a letter, which most people don't do anymore, and also just like burn it and make it kind of crafty, and it's fun, and it shows him that I'm caring and I care to him, that I care about him. And then I'm writing out a letter, like kind of like a love letter, but also make sure what I'm doing lately that I have not told him about, and things like that. So just really taking the time to let them know how you feel and how you care about them and how important this is to you is something that is definitely needed in the relationship as well. My boyfriend and I also like to, since we can't, take each other out on dates, and that's not, like, that's not super fun when you can't be able to go out on dates, hot dates, or something like that. We like to send each other kind of like tiny little gifts, like, he sent me like a sweatshirt from his university, and he sends me mixtapes all the time, and just like tiny things that you can send to one another. Like I sent him a Valentine for Valentine's Day, and things like that. Just like tiny things that you can send to one another that are important to you, and are showing that they're important to you, but that don't, like, like, they're not going to break your budget or anything, but, like, you can't take them out on dates, so it still shows that you invested some money and there's some time in it. It just makes them feel good. Like, it's so nice to open up and see, like, a whole mixtape, like, full of all these new songs that I get to experience, and I love music, so that's a huge way into my heart. So things like that, just, like, knowing this person and then going off of that and sending them, like, fun little things that they can enjoy. So that, I think, is just kind of going to be, like, a huge, like, overview of having to do this. And then we're going to go into more in depth, I guess, if this isn't, like, helpful enough. But I hope this helps. I hope this just starts. It just starts with commitment, trusting them, making things interesting, keeping things interesting, and telling them how you feel. And that's how the long distance relationship works. And knowing that's going to be difficult, but worth it. So I hope this helps with you guys. If you have any relationship questions, ask me below. Talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.